Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2020. I know it was a bit of a long break, but we're finally back here, ready for Afreeca versus SeolHaeOne Prince. SeolHaeOne Prince currently on a 6-loss streak in a row. 6 or 7, it's getting there. They won their first match against Humble Life Esports. Since then, they won 1 game against Team Dynamics, and otherwise it's been losses abound. They are certainly adrift at the moment in the LCK.
Yeah, I mean, the losses they have taken are at least against good teams, you could say, but it's a lot of good teams that are above them on the standings when that does happen, when you lose 6 in a row. So definitely, we do have an underdog, a clear underdog, and a clear favorite coming into this one. Afreeca did get smacked down by Dom1, but I think that on a similar level, the gap between Dom1 and Afreeca might even be smaller than the gap between Afreeca and SeolHaeOne Prince. So I feel like that's really what I'm going to learn the most of today. Like, just how much is the difference here between, you know, middle of the pack / top compared to the bottom of the LCK.
Well, let's have a look at the points of the match. Need to bounce back. Both teams had to take 0-2 losses in their recent series. Afreeca's, like you were saying, was against Dom1, so you could almost give it to them for that, especially after we saw Dom1 versus DRX, which was a very exciting top-of-the-table clash. This is not the same thing. I like to think of the LCK at the moment like traffic lights. You know, you've got like the top light, and then a gap, and then the middle light, and then the bottom light, you know?
Yeah.
And I think Afreeca are well and truly in the orange area. And SeolHaeOne Prince are sort of falling off the map just a little bit, solidly in 9th place above a floundering Humble Life Esports, who haven't really been able to put themselves together either. We'll have to see where all of these teams shake up, because even Sandbox is bouncing back after their very rough start, and they're on a few-match win streak themselves, and it's likely that they might be able to get themselves up to orange light territory.
Yeah. We take a look at some of the stats here, the champion kills per minute. It doesn't mean that SeolHaeOne Prince are killing a lot of champions. It just means the champions that die in their games is a lot, and most of the time it's their champions.
Yeah.
With the KDA at 10th, 1.5 as a team. Team goal difference at 20 is also 10th, so
Yikes.
Definitely a struggling team. They've only had 3 games where they were even ahead in gold at 20. And I suppose those are the 3 games they've won so far in the LCK.
Yeah, well, it's a couple of them that they won, and then, yeah, one that they lost, that they were able to throw away. No changes when it comes to the rosters here between, for at least Afreeca. On the side of SeolHaeOne Prince, spoiler alert, they're also running with basically the same roster, although it's hybrid and secret there towards the bottom side of the map. We're not seeing the glorious locks of Trigger this time around. But Ixu's going to have a real rough time. We always say this whenever we see Ixu up against Keen. It's going to be a tough time. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Afreeca can do to bounce back. And I'm also looking forward to seeing what they can do in the draft. Because, you know, the Nunu conversations that you were having yesterday, we didn't have them today because we didn't expect DRX or Dom1 to pull out the particular pick. But I have a sneaking suspicion that he might be a little bit more on the radar of a team like Afreeca.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a matchup to do it in and test it out, this would be the one, that is for sure. Keen, he is, of course, one of the better top lanes, one of the best top laners we do have here still in the LCK. He doesn't have tippy-top stats, but he doesn't die alone very often. He is so good at stopping aggression against him, as so many teams try to do. We saw a couple times where he was getting ganked by 2, 3, 4 members, and sometimes he takes one with them. Against Ixu, who has died the most. Isolated.
27 isolated deaths, Brendan. That is large amounts of isolated death.
Yeah. I wonder if that's first in the LCK. Like,
that is, yeah.
Because sometimes they say LCK first when it's a good stat, but when it's a bad stat, they're like, well, it's first, and maybe it's just for top. Wink, wink, but actually it's for everybody.
I think this is for everybody. I don't think... Look, off the top of your head, could you come up with anyone that might have died isolated more often than that? Don't think so.
No, I don't think so. It's usually top, and they're kind of out there on their own islands. So they usually die alone quite often. Sad times.
Indeed.
But it does look like Afreeca are in pretty good spirits. Mickey's got a little smile on, too.
He looked devastated after their last loss. Oh my goodness, Mickey did not have a very good time. In their last series, it was up against T1, of course, but It looked like he just wasn't allowed to play the game. Faker basically put him in the bin since the beginning of game 1, and he never really managed to claw his way out of it. But, you know, being put in the bin, that's an Oscar the Grouch type situation. Who has an Oscar the Grouch skin? That's Nunu. Maybe Nunu's going to be able to pull them out and find some more balance here in the LCK. We'll have to find out. Blue side here for Afreeca Freecs. We have correct colors for both of our teams. We'll see what the ban phase is going to bring out for us as we do get there right now.
Yeah, Karma set. A couple of picks that a lot of teams do not like to see. We saw their power in game 1 of DRX and Damwon earlier today. A couple of 80 carries. We're now having Aphelios or Kalista on the board here.
All right, TF and Ezreal going to be banned away next, I guess. You're straight up trolling if you don't ban Ezreal. Right?
Well,
right. Volibear is going to be the answer.
A lot of people are really hype on this Volibear pick. And of course, as you mentioned, Ezreal still extremely strong and not a bad first pick because he goes with pretty much any kind of composition. A real plug-and-play kind of champion that, you know, it's not very flexible. It always goes there in the 80 carry role, but it doesn't really matter. If you have an 80 carry player that can actually play it, and it's going to be up against Ashe, it looks like here.
Was it Hybrid that managed to do like 3k damage on Ashe? One of their more recent matches?
I think you're right.
Oh dear. Well, he's trying to run it back, try and redeem himself here on this Ashe pick. Playing Ashe against the Ashe expert himself in Mystic. We lost Prey, but thankfully Mystic came back to the LCK. And he's been our sort of resident Ashe man. Hasn't been playing it as much as players like Ruler or Aiming. But now it is going to be Hybrid that has his chance. Flawless, back to an old favorite here in the Nidalee. Spirit's going to know exactly what he's up against. Just lock in the Nunu. Just do it. It's time to press the Nunu.
It's time to do it. Well,
aha! Here we go.
Never mind.
Spirit's Poppy win rate, by the way, is his highest in solo queue. Still. He's a bit of a Poppy aficionado.
He loves this pick. And it's great into Nidalee. Nidalee can't get that pounce very easily. And Poppy is quite tanky at the same time against that amount of poke damage. Fly's just going to go ahead and pick Zoe here, so maybe we will not have Nunu for game 1. Still going to be picked in the support role, but I don't know if they actually want to do that.
Yep. Team Rocket could come out, but I think they've blasted off since the last nerfs to Yuumi. She just hasn't been looked at. Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. It's just not happening. There's the Orianna for Mickey. Don't know whether this is necessarily an Orianna comp coming together yet for SeolHaeOne Prince, but they could certainly augment it with some different pickups. Trundle being not looked at whatsoever here in this particular match, which I think is a very welcome change.
Yeah, great. Nobody fell into the trap.
Yeah.
And especially with Nidalee being picked first, Afreeca wasn't going to counterpick themselves, so they were just like, well, no Trundle today. No bans on Trundle either, which I also think is totally fine. He's not good enough to the point where you can't counter him or he's too strong.
I also like the fact that Spirit picked Poppy into it, knowing that Trundle's not going to be picked anymore, and therefore Subjugate can't ruin your day as a very tanky jungler. Yeah. Leona taken away here from Ben.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it does feel like Spirit might be one of the worst jungle players to pick Nidalee into because of his efficiency on the Poppy and, taking away one of Poppy's counters in the Trundle that you did mention. So,
throwaway ban here with the Renekton being taken off the board.
Yeah, just dump that ban into the ocean because we don't, it's kind of wasted.
Yeah.
In that one, we're not very happy with Renektons here in the LCK. So
also Poppy ruins the day of Alawi as well, so it's going to be harder for Ixu to pick that. As once again we got the Cloud9 bottom lane being considered.
Huh.
There we go. Shout out to Lemon Nation for his Zyra support. And we have seen this. I believe it was it SeolHaeOne Prince that played it last time around? I think it might have been. That might have been that auspicious game.
Seems right.
Yeah, Zyra did double the damage of Ashe or something in the game. They ran it back a couple of times.
You're right. I think the Gnar got some small buffs on this patch, so...
He did. Bit of a boost of attack speed after the hop, I believe.
Yeah, I think there was some cooldown reduction as well.
Yep.
On something. So if you were going to pick him, if he was going to come back, I suppose the best time is going to be after some buffs. It's a blind pick too, so you don't want to pick something too risky. Something that can handle a lot of matchups is definitely something like a Gnar, a Kennen. But they want to get someone who can frontline alongside a Poppy. They're also going to pick up Tahm Kench.
This is called playing straight into your opponent's bottom lane, guys. This is what we would not recommend. Don't do it at home, is what we'd say. Tahm Kench gets trashed by Zyra completely. Very, very difficult lane. And Zyra Ashe is one of the most impressive lanes in the game. Ixu going to jump onto the Aatrox towards the top side of the map. That's what he's going to try and deal with the Gnar with. Does have a little bit more range than a lot of our bruisers up there, so you can understand why he's chose it, but I have a feeling this is going to be a very tough lane for Ixu to play out.
That Tahm Kench pick, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's dicey, ain't it?
You're already going into Ashe, who can control the lane alone as an AD carry. But Ashe Zyra is you're doubling or tripling that power as they work so well together too. Tahm Kench cannot really approach the lane. And yeah, you can say, okay, yeah, they wanted to pick it for the composition. There's a decent amount of, pick on the side of SeolHaeOne and Prince, but I mean, it's not going to feel very good when your Ezreal is really far behind because he doesn't have a support. We'll have to see how well Mystic can do 1v2.
Exactly. Flyers had some of his best performances on the Zoe. See how he's going to be able to get things together here for this game because he was, he was left out to dry up against Showmaker. It was after being very confident after their win afterwards. They were really thinking that they were a team that were going to challenge the top 4. But so far, they are looking like a 5th at best. We'll see whether this is going to help them move a little bit further forward. The Orianna from Mickey trying to deal with all of the paddle stars. And the AoE damage out of this comp is just despicable. They have so much of it. But whether it's going to be enough is going to be the question because the poke power and how slippery the members of Afreeca are is going to be very, very tough. Hail of Blades Poppy to come through from Spirit once again. This is what he popularized, I believe, in Kesper Cup.
Yeah.
He's playing a lot of it. The Hail of Blades Poppy was coming out all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the players that we enjoy watching, and one of the teams in general, because, I mean, Keen plays a whole slew of things. He's already played 9 different champions, which I feel like he could be playing more, but he has loved his Urgot and Mordekaiser before we kind of, threw Mordekaiser off the side of the rift and decided we never wanted to see him again.
I hope
as a collective.
Yeah, I feel like he was attached to one of the many Ashe arrows that has just been thrown over Runeterra, and he's like,
grabbed
oh,
on.
not again.
Yeah.
Thrown away.
And Spirit and Fly are always playing weird stuff. So it's a fun team to watch. I think if you're just a casual watcher of LCK, Afreeca is definitely a fun team to be a fan of and say, you never know what you're going to get. It's definitely going to be some fun stuff.
Oh, wow. Actually, I love this. I hope that they sweep this brush. They don't. So never mind. Oh,
they do.
What? If you're gonna sweep it a bit earlier than that, please.
Yeah. Don't say you're gonna sweep it. Yeah. Wait, until I sweep it for you.
All right, Secret's gonna take a very long route away. That was a good sidestep, but it is just going to be the steal here on the blue buff. Fall is going to be a little bit more upset about how his jungle path's going to go. And you can see that Afreeca already have a ward on their own blue buff, so it's going to be hard to avoid the 3-buff start. You can see Spirit's even going to take down the Wolf Camp as well. Looking to try and abuse the Nidalee before she has a bunch of her buttons available. But as you can see, we've got the Cloud9 bottom lane doing some work. Sneaky and Lemon Nation down here, having popularized this many years ago. Showing that it's still working out. I actually think this is really cool because we've now got like 2 pretty famous lanes for different players. This is the aiming Tucson lane on the other side. Remember, they were coined.
The
Ezreal Tahm Kench IRL bottom lane during their player of the game interviews.
True, which I don't think was very nice.
No, I didn't think it was very nice. But I think Tucson loved it, so I think that's okay.
Yeah, I guess so. But also, obviously, Ruler and Corday, even though they weren't, what would you call it, personified? I don't know. But they made this combo so popular.
Yeah, they definitely
back in the day, they just played it every single game.
Yep.
That's back when Tahm Kench was actually
busted.
Yeah, 5 nerfs ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were just like, well, I mean, I guess we can just pick this and be safe every single game. Ezreal was doing like 40k damage every game. It was a fun time.
Classic ruler.
What was that, 2017?
18?
It was 17 or 18.
Oh, 17 maybe. Yeah. Because Claude JJ was still here.
Yeah.
Maybe 17 and 18. Yeah, I think it might have been both.
It definitely extended.
Yeah.
Even past Ruler and Core JJ themselves. Like a lot of other teams would pick it up. T1 was playing it. Pretty much any team that loved safe scaling style.
Well, that's every team here in the LCK Valdez. So.
Especially back then. I mean, it's all the time.
Not going to find the heroic charge there. Is Spirit as holds on. Yeah, see, that's why it's really rough. You just hold on to Steadfast Presence, and you just never get jumped on. Spirit's just going to casually walk on forward. Fly misses the bubble, though, and that's a max range spear. It doesn't do massive damage, but it looks like Afreeca still wanting to go aggressive. Spear going to go wide. Afreeca will make their way out. Just so many of these little sticks being thrown.
Yeah. It's a very strange exchange where it looked like Spirit was doing the marathon, where he ran from the enemy right side jungle through the mid lane over to the left side jungle and didn't actually do anything, but he's trying to mirror Flawless and say, you know, stay away from my jungle, I want to 3-buff you, I want to stay ahead of you, and if we ever fight 1v1, I'm always going to win. So really just trying to extend that feeling.
Ooh, hybrid. Would it take Q? Yeah, Mystic's name is Mystic. He should be able to hit a Mystic shot, but not quite able to there.
Guy was so slow.
And, you know, despite what this lane is apparently capable of, SeolHaeOne Prince do have to send their support back. Collects himself a ward. Collects himself some boots. He's going to make his way back into the lane. Of course, level 6 is where this bottom lane really does hit its stride on the side of SeolHaeOne Prince. Arrow into Stranglethorns, pretty disgusting amounts of damage.
Yeah, I feel like they fell strangely behind at level 1, which is, yeah, the Tongue Lash into Q combo is going to be annoying, but I think they could have stood right behind their minions and tried to harass a little bit more. Ben was just sticking in the brush, and because of that, they were able to hit level 2 first, and that set Hybrid and Secret behind a bit, so they couldn't use their range advantage too much, and they had to just back off. So since then, it has been an Afreeca-dominated lane by Ben and Mystic.
Speaking of which, Kane is just slamming these waves over and over into Ixu, as his Mega Gnar available at the moment. Snow Day Gnar skin as well. Used to see this one all the time. Has since lost its popularity just a little bit. I feel like Dino Gnar sort of ruined Snow Day Gnar's day. And the Gentleman Gnar. Love it.
That's a good
Throwing clocks. Brilliant. So we're going to dive Ixu. As there's the flash headbutt into the wall. And yeah, Ixu's been lit on fire. And that is something that maybe DRX could take some notes for. Because that's the play that they went for in game number 2, I believe. And it went horribly wrong. That was pretty clean.
It's about as clean as it gets. I don't think Ixu was expecting that aggressive of a flash from Spirit to get knocked into the turret. And the second he saw the Zoe in the follow-up, he's like, well, there's no point in flashing now. But had he flashed the charge from the Poppy, maybe he could have extended it in time for Nidalee to come up to the top side, but that's not the way it went. And so that's just a very clean, easy kill.
I don't know how. Actually, I don't even know whether, even if he flashes, I think the heroic charge was already coming. And he would have gone into either the wall or the turret. So I think he was just done to.
Yeah. He had to, like, try to flash behind Spirit somehow, but, I mean.
Yeah.
It was just a really good setup from Spirit. I'm not sure if they even needed Fly, but he made things a lot cleaner.
Yep, Ben looking to lick Hybrid and Secret out of this lane, and is doing so very, very well. I feel like this is just not how this is supposed to go.
Yeah.
Valdez. It's just it's an odd scenario. Mystic also buying for lane, as you can see. Not going to be stacking that tier too early. Instead, just going to maximize his damage with the Sheen. Mystic shots are going to hurt even more after this. But that was just so comfortable for the Ezreal.
I'm still thinking about that dive. That was another isolated death for Ace.
Yeah.
I think that's 28 now.
Yeah, we'll try and keep tabs on it, guys.
In 8 series.
Oh no. That's really sad.
It's unfortunate. A lot of their losses have been 0-2 as well.
Yeah.
Not to harp on too much, but it's there definitely needs to be some changes made for SeolHaeOne Prince. I like when they felt forced to try some kind of new bottom lane up against Deft and Keria. They were like, well, if Hybrid and Seeker play into this normally, I think they're just going to straight up lose. So they sent in Trigger and Mia, and they played some wonky picks with the Heimer, and it actually was very annoying for DRX to handle in game number 1, even though they still did win the game. But I like changes when things aren't working.
Yeah, I think so too. Trying to at least address what your problems are. I don't know whether it necessarily needs to be roster, but certainly some things need to be adjusted on the side of SeolHaeOne Prince. Mickey takes himself a bubble to the face. It's not a good feeling. Fly has a heal also available. Happy Zoe here in the mid lane, currently winning by 1 CS. But Mickey will have a big wave to pick up. So the Orianna doing just fine. But just fine feels like it's not good enough, because bottom side isn't winning when it should be. Top side is getting demolished. A 20 CS at the moment as we tick towards 10 minutes time. We have more than 1,000 gold lead, with Poppy keeping up with the Nidalee very easily here in this jungle. I feel like whenever we see Spirit jungling as well, it's so satisfying watching him take down the camps with that Q. It's Flawless discovered once again, and Spirit has started Shelly. So this is something that SeolHaeOne Prince probably wanted to have control of far earlier in this game, but instead, I mean, Spirit's just been so happy. Oh dear. Mickey's got cleanse, does have to use it. That might be a sitting duck Orianna here. As another turret plate possibly on offer here for Kayn.
Yeah. Should be pretty easy. I thought that Afreeca could just force Shelly with their 80 carry teleport advantage. Hybrid was already moving towards the Rift Heralds, but Afreeca just started backing off because they're like, well, if Hybrid doesn't come down, maybe we can just win there. And it's a bit of a trade.
Yep, Mystic taking a lot of damage here. Is actually level 7s and level 6s being hit by SeolHaeOne Prince. Surprised they didn't pull the trigger, to be honest. Arcane Shift was actually used there by Mystic, as we saw. So, like, honestly, if you have Zyra and Ashe in lane, and Ashe hits an arrow at this level, Ezreal's dead, or Tahm Kench is dead. It actually doesn't matter. Probably want to land it onto the Tahm, just so you can make sure that the Devourer is not going to get him out of harm's way. But I think the reasoning for not actually going more aggressive was respecting the Devour.
We're getting to see that poke come online, especially with the Nidalee. They're really trying to force it, but Ixu is just not really going to have much of a lane at this rate. They're not being able to push in the bottom side just as fast because of the Rift Herald. There is that one Infernal Drake that they did pick up here, did SeolHaeOne Prince, but that is just about it. And it doesn't look like Keen even wants to leave the lane. He's like, yeah, I took down your first turret. Next up, second turret. Let's just keep going.
Yep, push Shelly as far as she can possibly go. Now Keen is going to go back home. So Ben having a good time licking these plants as they come out. Maybe he's a vegetarian. Although I did think that catfish were omnivores.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Omnivores.
Sort of ate all sorts of different things. True Shot Barrage misses everything.
That comment, it just made me realize I don't really know what fish eat. Do they eat like smaller fish, right?
Oftentimes,
but
yeah.
do they eat like
depends which fish it is.
Life on the
some of them do.
On the floor? I don't know. I didn't really eat many fish when I was younger. And I didn't really study much about the fish diet.
It's all right. Maybe we can do some research together. We can come back, tell the collective what we've learned. We'll do our homework as Grasping Roots do go wide. SeolHaeOne Prince unable to truly win out here on the bottom side. Mystic with a lot of mana built up right now. Otherwise not too much of a problem with the Spirit. He's going to get tagged by that Spear. They're starting to hurt now that Flawless has hit level 8. Level 9, of course, is 5 points.
Yeah. Finished his jungle item, so it's certainly going to start doing some good damage. The Spirit that doesn't have any resistances yet. It's just plain health. So it will chunk him every time. The good thing for Afreeca is that top lane is smashing and mid lane is smashing. Fly was able to pick up that first blood on the dive up in the top side, and now he's just been he's just been pummeling the Orianna in mid lane. Thankfully, Mickey didn't, get into any, too bad of a position without his cleanse, but now he does have it available. But it has just been the slow, steady push from Fly here. He's going to get more plates for his team. You can see that his team as a whole, 3,500 gold ahead.
Yeah, 7 plates to be taken already. And,
oh
my God!
Fly.
I've seen Ash arrow hitboxes hit before that flash.
Yeah.
In my time, that Fly is going to be a little bit late on it, but otherwise he's okay.
I would love to see like the actual hitbox of an arrow.
Yeah.
It feels like it's not as long as it looks, but it's much wider than it looks.
Yeah, it's actually a bus.
Yeah.
It's not even an arrow, it's just a bus being thrown at someone.
Yeah, but the front is like the bottom is like really low, so sometimes it like doesn't quite hit you.
Well, Fly actually in a bunch of trouble over here as the flash forward. Mickey not going to find the dissonance damage as Keen. He's going to join in, and that is a very dead Orianna.
Yeah. Your jungle he's been pushing bottom side and helping bottom side all game long. You're not really going to have support when you're basically underneath the enemy's turret, right? So Mickey thought he had a kill, but he didn't see that his opponent had a stopwatch, and from there, the teammates of Afreeca were able to collapse much quicker.
And Spirit has been all over Flawless's jungle. He's only down 10 CS at the moment. Flawless has managed to find some farm, but Devour now on cooldown. The bus is also on cooldown, so not able to throw that one out. Stranglethorns, you can avoid not the damage, but the CC relatively easily without a hard CC being offered over the top. So, SeolHaeOne Prince don't find anything bottom side, and this is dead Mickey in the mid lane. Heroic Charge doesn't get the stun, but the Q is going to be there, and just slight charge on that ulti out from the Poppy buys enough time, and a very comfortable kill there for Fly. 3-0 now.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like this is just a very extremely slow.
애쉬공 빠졌다 이거. 나 풀 빠졌고 이거.
He said, I lost my flash. I lost my flash from that play. Took a while to decide what to take. He took the exhaust, which ends up helping him after Mickey does take a good start to the trade. Mickey getting exhaust there, flashes in, as we mentioned already. Great roam down from Keen. Fantastic timing. I'm not sure exactly how he was able to nail the timing that well, but it is Keen, so I suppose we should just expect it at that point. And this is one thing that Poppy's great at. Everybody used to be like, oh, Elise is the greatest diving jungle of all time. She can go top lane, level 3, Renekton, Elise Renekton every game. But Poppy's also really awesome. Yeah. Especially with some levels. I don't know about level 3. That maybe not quite as good as Elise, but you get a couple items, you get some levels. Poppy will just run underneath any turret and knock you into turrets, into walls, into anything. And it's just such a nuisance, especially for these really squishy champions like Orianna and even Aatrox at early levels before he gets some items. So we've been seeing that from Spirit. He's pulled it off twice. It's just so annoying. That little Yordle just running in your face. Exactly. He doesn't care about what you're doing.
Hybrid, there's a Tahm Kench walking at you. Tongue Lash is going to land. There's another Flash Heroic Charge. True Shot Barrage is flashed there by Hybrid. The Spirit's now getting taken down low. Good teleport in from Mix, who was Keen. A little bit late to the party. He does have the Gnar. Finds 2 into the wall. And no one on Afreeca has died yet, apart from Keen just then. Now Fly looking for the Paddle Star, but doesn't find it there under Hybrid and Secret. And now Mickey's going to make the rotation down. 4 versus 5 here for Afreeca, but Fly in the front line. Somehow Ixu is dead again, and there's a hula hoop randomly chilling in the middle of the lane. 1 for 1 in the end, both top laners to go down.
We'll see if anything else comes from this. I think that Afreeca could stick around, wait for a bunch of the members to go back, and then maybe even go for the dragon here. Spirit is going to. They're going to commit teleport from the Unsealed Spellbook of Ben to make sure they have the presence as a team to come on in. And Fly is just sitting here at 4-0. He's got all the kills on his team. There was the 1 kill going to the Aatrox because the teleport was quicker from Ixu that time around. 1 saving grace from the disaster of a top lane that it has been so far. They go pretty deep for this one. And you think they're just going to be able to burst it down. Maybe if Mystic got that True Shot Barrage off, a half second earlier, they could have burst down Hybrid. And then Keen goes in kind of all alone, only gets Secret knocked up, and everybody else is so low that you're not really going to be able to follow up from there.
Oh, that flash from Mixer, that was weird. Ignite, burning down.
See ya.
Yep, gonna grab it.
There was one big flash, and I guess the Arcane Shift from the Ezreal that got them out of the hula hoop, the sombrero, the spaceship, I don't know what you want to call it. And yeah, Orianna gonna have a little bit of a hard time in that situation. Mickey also made it very obvious where he was going to place that ultimate as he ran straight at them, trying to desperately pick up those kills.
And not a lot of coordination here for SeolHaeOne Prince. It's Hybrid. Hybrid nicely avoids that Mystic Shot, like that. Now Flawless is going to make his way in. Going to find too much damage here on the Mystic, but should be able to take down the turret. Nicely done. SeolHaeOne Prince trying to catch up as far as this gold is concerned. 5,000 somehow, 19 minutes in. And I think this gentleman on your screen right here is a large reason why. He's got a wit's end. Just a casual wit's end.
Yeah.
Ahead of his opponent. See what that means for the build? I mean, if you think about it, wit's end and Rage Blade, think about the combo.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really do very much magic damage. It's Gnar, but that's still cool.
Yeah. Going for that on-hit attack speed, kind of a setup. I'm curious to see because we haven't seen Gnar in quite a while. I think maybe Cuvée played it a couple of times early on in the season, but then
yeah, I think did we see it.
in.
Yes, did we see it yesterday, or was it Hovered yesterday?
I don't know. We saw it yesterday.
There have been more Gnars than.
I think he's just dead.
Yeah, that Paddle Star is going to land. That's so much damage, but he does walk out. Oh, the flash
hit.
forward. And the Ashe is dead. Strangle Thorns are there as well. Secret does do a lot of damage. Keen's here, and oh my god, that Boomerang did approximately 1 trillion damage. Now Mickey still running for the hills. Spirit does have the steadfast presence for the movement speed, but Dissonance is pretty good as well. Is now Flawless going on in here. He's going to protect his mid laner, but as you can see, a lot of the damage has been done, as Afreeca should be able to take down this bottom outer turret, continue their onslaught. I believe now all 3 outer turrets have been taken by Afreeca, and SeolHaeOne Prince are slowly but surely falling down.
I don't know how they didn't kill Mickey.
Yeah,
that just seems like a free kill.
The shockwave was pretty good actually at making sure that Fly didn't have the range.
Yeah, and Spirit, he was kind of slow to get in there. I don't think we're going to get to see it, as we're going to take a look at how this one started. Keen just lands the max range Boomerang. Hybrid disappears, but so does the Ezreal with a nice root from Secret. But he has about 3 health, so
yeah,
Keen is quite fed at this point in time. 231 CS at 21 minutes. He has the most in the game. And even if he doesn't have the most kills, he's certainly shoring it up with his insane CS as well. Here we go.
Yeah, Mickey gonna get ulted, but does ult Spirit back himself, and oh my god, Fly's damage is absurd. He went back and I think got a full book, which I would have liked the other book, to be honest. He got 6 stacks on his Dark Seal, but you know, you'll take what you can get. Ixu in trouble, World Ender, but I think his world might be ending. Does have flash. No, doesn't quite have flash just yet, as the boulder is going to land onto Hybrid. There's the Mystic Shot that we expect out of the man. But he actually misses the last one. Hybrid is going to make his way out. Freeca don't really need to worry about getting kills at this particular point in time because they've got Shirley. And they should be able to keep this pressure on as they move further forward. 30 seconds until Ocean Drake is available. 3 of those to be stacked up for either team. Ocean Soul times 3 Drakes is really worrisome. And a double charge out for Shirley. Not bad. Afreeca certainly looking like they've recovered from their loss against Damwon so far.
The power of Poppy against some squishy champions. Mickey can't even touch him. I mean, he's like barely scratching the Poppy. Yes, she gets low, but like, you're never going to kill him there. And they're able to feed that kill over to Fly, who goes back and just picks up Majai's.
There we go. He's a librarian. Love this.
He's got the 2 books.
He's got 2 books and he's ready for a water fight. Fantastic. That's a full Frozen Mallet, also done but from Keen. So he's also very scary. Leandri's is completed for Secret, so Secret does do a lot of damage, actually. It's about the only item that you need to do a ton of damage on the Zyra.
I wonder if Death Stance is any good on Gnar.
I'm sure it's good on everyone.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's a great item, even though they kind of nerfed it for ranged champions a little bit.
You hit Mega Gnar, and then you get 10% back.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll consider building it, but yeah, Frozen Mallet.
I
mean, right now, he could build a Death Cap, and it doesn't matter.
Pretty, you know,
just so
maybe
far
he should.
That's a Darian play. Do you remember Darian from back in the day, the Lizard Wizard himself?
Yeah. Just build anything. Keen is looking for a pick on an Ixu. And remember that SeolHaeOne Prince had counter pick, and it was top lane. Going into Gnar, they decided, well, what better than Aatrox? And we've kind of seen how that has been going. It's not all just about Gnar versus Aatrox in this game, as Spirit and Fly obviously did put Ixu very far behind early on, but I'm not even sure if an equally farmed Aatrox would have any luck against a guy who's always just going to hop away from you and, you know, hit you down just like a cannon.
Yeah, no, it certainly feels like a very rough matchup here for Ixu. And Keen is also very oppressive if given a lane bully like this. And Ixu just getting harassed under his own turret. Keen happy to tank it up. As Fly will find himself a blue buff. Secret and Flawless are going to come on over as the Spear is going to steal it away. So Fly's going to get a bit frustrated about that one. Pounce does come back as Mystic Shot. It's going to land, and Mystic knock an Arcane Shift over and look for Flawless. SeolHaeOne Prince do clear out a bunch of the vision here towards the bottom side. So no base broken or anything like that, but wasn't much else to do. And that was a pretty successful siege, given the fact that there is no Baron. There's nothing to fight for elsewhere. Just making sure they keep up as much as possible as we have a look. Some of the stats here from Keen and Fly. Damage and gold. Yeah. Keen's done a lot of just beating up Ixu so far this game.
Yeah, he's had a fun time. And that will definitely continue as we're slowly but surely moving over here towards the Baron, considering it. Fly hasn't been able to pick up any more stacks, so he's sitting at 6 for now.
Yeah, they got to start a fight, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because they basically just have to rely on either a Poppy flank or a Trouble Bubble. I suppose that Gnar, of course, could try to flash in with Mega Gnar, but that can be a little bit obvious if you're just running straight at them.
See what Afreeca do decide to do once they've cleaned up their jungle and started shoving out these lanes again. I have a feeling a dance around the Baron is probably in order. Because so far they're 8,000 gold ahead. Like, this game is so far into Afreeca's control. And SeolHaeOne Prince are just scrambling at this point in time. You can see Mickey needing to use his orb just to get vision in the area. Control ward going to go down. Afreeca are here to look for a way to defend. Hybrid possibly on his own as Secret does find Plant over the wall. I love the fact that Tongue Lash does one-shot the plants.
Yeah.
Very
one
effective.
bite. One bite on those plants. No need to chew.
Oh no. Death Stance completed here from Mystic. SeolHaeOne Prince contending against an Afreeca that do have basically all of their item spikes done. Keen's still sitting on a lot of money, actually, because it's been a while since he's had that Frozen Mallet completed, but this Ezreal is so ready to fight with the items that he has right now. 40% CDR, everything just going well.
Yeah, they're taking it really slow here. Afreeca, they kind of look lost, where they're like, do we go for the Baron or look for a pick, or maybe we should just push mid? Actually, let's try to dive Ixu. That sounds fun.
Yep, Keen tanked the turret for about a year and a half. So wasn't actually able to go for any effective dive against Ixu. Keen has teleport. He's going to look to go back home, augment this build with another item. We'll see whether it is going to be the Death Stance for item number 4, or whether he just goes for something conventional in a... oh, it's a QSS, actually. So wants to avoid getting arrowed to the face. A lot of the CC on SeolHaeOne Prince's side is knockups, though, so it's just for use against Ashe. Of quite curious.
Yeah. I suppose he could get away from the root as well. It feels to me like one of those items that's just like insurance, where they're so far ahead and they're like, well, what is the one way we lose? Well, if I get comboed from 100 to 0 in mini-Gnar form because I, wasn't able to flash an arrow that hit me for 4 seconds stun or something like that. And so it's like he barely even needs more damage items or even more tanky stats just yet. And they're just going to run at the Ocean Drake here.
Yeah, very easy. Belongs to Afreeca. In fact, the whole map feels like it belongs to Afreeca. It's a great way to shut down Nidalee. And to Flawless's credit, he has still been able to farm. But if you can create this much pressure, then the value of the Nidalee pick is just so much lower because she requires a lot of gold to really get working. Rod of Ages was very late. 28 minutes and it's only sitting on 6 stacks right now. SeolHaeOne Prince do manage to grab themselves their red buff, so Hybrid's going to have that one. As more control wards go down, Keen still looking for more and more of these SeolHaeOne players. Mickey will come in. So 4 versus 3 at this particular instance. Ben and Mystic a little bit further away. As Keen hits Mega Gnar.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Afreeca are getting kind of antsy. They're like, well, maybe we can just run at you and start a fight. And SeolHaeOne Prince wants nothing to do with it. They're really far behind, but they're not just going to take a fight that they're obviously going to lose.
Yeah,
They're kind of just going to slowly bleed out in this game and hope to eventually get like the miracle pick onto someone on the side of Afreeca that makes a mistake. So that's why we're in this gigantic lull state, that it feels like it's extended past multiple dragon fights too, because SeolHaeOne never even had a chance to challenge any dragons after the first one. So it's just been a slow and steady pace here where Afreeca are ahead, but they can't end the game, and SeolHaeOne Prince can't come back, but they're not.
Yeah, it's just
they're not going to do anything about it.
We might be able to see the Flame Horizon, though, as we're 9 CS away for Keen to get 100 ahead of Ixu. Probably not going to find Flawless, as we're looking for a bit of a reset. Good old Spirit is going to go back home. Can't quite finish too much more. Just wanted to get another couple of control wards, make sure that they can keep the eye on the area. Mystic here in the mid lane will just shove another wave forward. We are pinging and ponging to high heaven here in this game. I don't think there's any doubts, really, that Afreeca are going to win. It's just when.
Yeah. Win-win.
Yeah. If they wait too long, I mean, there's a chance that the Wombo works a couple of times for SeolHaeOne Prince and they find their way back.
Yeah, I mean...
Not likely, though.
Zyra does a lot of damage, so if you catch like 3 members, maybe you can get something done, but with Keen at level 17, and you've got a Tahm Kench to essentially cover all of your mistakes, and he's got a QSS as well, so they're just looking for plays like this to catch someone out.
Yep, Shockwave, there's the flash. Mickey's still very dead. Gets a boulder to the face, and that's going to be Fly picking up his 6th here from the mid lane of Afreeca. See whether Afreeca decide that this is going to be their time to take a Baron or something like that. As Secret and Flawless, this is a lot of damage if they do manage to land their abilities. Stranglethorn's not invested. The Spirit will find the heroic charge, and over the wall goes Keen. Goodbye, Mr. Nidalee. There's now Ixu looking for some of these knockups, but the Hyper is going to proc. He's slowed down, and this Gnar is so frustrating. As there's the knockup from the ulti. Ixu goes golden, wanting to see what's going on. That's a big fat flash. As Mystic's over the wall, easily able to take down the kill onto the Aatrox. And now, maybe, with only 2 alive, it's time for the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5-on-2. Mickey's coming back in 5 seconds, but you have a decent amount of Baron damage here. You have Fly super fed who can hop around and get a lot of great autos down. Gnar with his attack speed builds alongside Ezreal, able to chunk that one out. Afreeca just super safe. Maybe it's because they got stomped so hard the last time around, and you don't necessarily want to just run at the Baron when you're dealing with a lot of pick on the side of SeolHaeOne Prince, even though their turn is quite good. So we finally got that pick. They were just waiting for SeolHaeOne Prince to make a mistake. And the second Mickey went even just a little bit past his lane, We did see the Abyssal Voyage come in and the teleport, and it kind of just snowballed into more and more.
Looks like Mystic might have been staggering the claim of the red buff. Line it up a little bit better with this Ocean Drake that's going to be coming up in 25 seconds or so. And there we go, finally going to take it here. We're going to go back home. Blade of the Ruined King might just be done. Hybrid, I mean, he's got a few items. Just don't know whether he's got enough.
He's got a front line that basically is like, it's like origami. It like just fall apart. It's made of paper. And it's like they're champions running around, but actually they're just like fake paper champions.
No, they're the worst kind of champions.
I know. Oh boy.
Well, point blank and misses the bubble. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be Ocean Soul though, just very calmly collected by Afreeca. Keen's even able to steal away some of that popcorn chicken, so taking away their lunch.
I like how it's like the Ocean Drake, the Ocean Soul fight starts, and they put up like the damage by champions thing on the bottom, and then this just stays 0 the whole time.
Yep.
And nobody fights, and then production's like, oh, yeah, we'll just put this away.
Exactly.
So, yeah, sorry about that. Thought we might have some fighting, but that was not the case.
Ooh, it's a lot of books. It's 3 books that Fly has. Wow. He's got his reading hat, his reading Super Soaker, his shoes. So ready.
His reading Super Soaker.
Yeah, I mean, what else would it be? Doesn't quite fit the brand, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And as Afreeca now with the Baron buff are going to move towards these inhibitor turrets. Hasn't been an exciting game, but it's been a well-controlled game here by Afreeca. As Keen on the top side to be taking this inhibitor turret. Same thing sort of happening here on the bottom side as the 1-2-2 split is happening. SeolHaeOne Prince are very keen on not fighting ever. And Afreeca are just basically walking in saying, can we just take all of this stuff and this stuff and we have this stuff? And that tower's going to fall down. Inhibitor in the mid lane going to do the same. Inhibitor top side should also fall. And SeolHaeOne Prince, I mean, soon they're going to be killing your Nexus, and you'll then need to pull the trigger. You know? Wow! But zooming all the way back in. I think Jonas Strong fell asleep.
Yeah, he's like, whoop!
Alright, they go back in though.
I don't blame them. This hasn't been the most exciting game, guys.
No, it really hasn't.
It's been, we've been kind of sitting here for about 15 minutes. Maybe more.
Yeah, we should have been talking about other things. What's your favorite cereal?
This kind of feels like the way that Jennary used to lose.
Yeah, right.
Where it was like they would get behind in the early game, they would like try to skirmish, maybe get a couple of kills, and then just like inevitably sit back in their base for like 30 minutes, and then eventually just get pushed in and lose.
Well, Fly just dodged a spear with his portal jump. That looked really cool. It's probably the coolest thing to happen so far this game.
Maybe Hybrid can do something here.
Well, Baron buff is now done.
Oh.
Strangleform. Interesting. As heal comes out. No, it wasn't. That was the Primal Surge. Ixu getting chunked. He's getting slowed as well. I mean, the Gnar and the Ezreal have problems when it comes to that, as there's the Devour, and there is the Wallbang. And Spirit does find a good knock up there onto Hybrid. They haven't managed to kill him just yet, though, as Ixu. He's going to throw his life away for the cause. And Keen is so incredibly big. Finds the Mega Gnar, no wallop. As now Ixu once again looking for more, but Mystic just splashes on top of his face and grabs that kill. Nexus turret's now to be taken down, and Afreeca in the end. It took them 37 minutes. I don't think there was very much doubt in anyone's mind that they were going to win, but they do manage to take down the Nexus in a very clean and controlled victory that could have probably been done 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah, they did it in the end, so I'll give him that. And I'll also give my player of the game vote to Spirit.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't think that Fly scooping up kills based off of Spirit's great ganking and unique pick deserves the player of the game in this one. So I'll just hand that one over to Spirit. He set up all the kills, got Afreeca ahead, and then sat with his team, and, you know, they were like out on the front porch on their rockers, drinking their tea, slowly winning the game.
And they found the picks that they needed to. I mean, it did take them a while. They probably could have been a little bit more forthright with it, but if your opposition is just going to do nothing, you may as well take everything and then take them down, right? I mean, I think a lot of it has to be on SeolHaeOne Prince for not trying to throw a Hail Mary any earlier in the game. They in fact never did really throw one. They had reactionary plays basically the entire time. I like the Ashe Zyra, but hasn't really worked out at all. And it feels like, you know, aiming in Tucson just better.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Ezreal Time King.
Yeah. You'll realize that through that entire game, they never really made a stand.
Yeah.
Even at their Nexus, they're like, well, yeah, I guess you can have it.
I mean, Zyra does a lot of damage as a support. It's pretty impressive. That's not on secret. I mean, if you ever play Zyra support, you'll know. You'll have a look at that damage graph and you'll feel like, why did my team lose? I did a bajillion damage.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it doesn't really matter too much, as Kane did so much work. My God.
Yeah. The Aatrox's last pick into the Gnar. I mean,
yeah.
That's the thing about teams down towards the bottom of the LCK. There are like so many issues that they have to work through still, that it starts with the draft and then it goes into early game, mid-game, late game, like a lot of different things that could have been done better.
Yeah.
Beside SeolHaeOne Prince, that it's a rough task for them to get through all of it. But Afreeca, very clean, not making too many mistakes in that one.
Nope, not at all. SeolHaeOne Prince probably like asking like, but you pointed at all of me. It's like, yes, that's what you need to fix. Well, we'll see whether they can during this break's timing, as Afreeca look to get a 2-0 bounce back after their loss against Dharma. We'll see whether they can, or whether SeolHaeOne Prince do have something up their sleeves, because you have to do something if you're going to win games. See whether they can after the break.
하나. 오케이. 이번에 싸움 먼저, 싸움 먼저.
천천히 봐.
나 탑타워 치는 중. 우리 형 못해줘, 이거. 오케이.
천천히.
아트 봐봐, 아트.
내가 맞을게.
아트부터 천천히.
우리 하나 궁 조심해라. 아트 탈줄 맞게 그냥 잡아라. 아트 잡아.
오리 노플.
아트 잡아.
오리 노플이야. 나 벽공 8초.
나 먹기 됐어. 우리 하나 궁채 여기 있고.
아, 끝났다. 오리 노공.
오케이.
우리 궁 빠졌어.
나이스.